Good evening, folks. This is Amos. Sure is a beautiful night, ain't it? I remember a moon just like that years ago back in Marietta, Georgia. Yes, sir, it was the night that my old friend, the Kingfish, brought Sapphire Smith home from the charity ball just 20 years ago.
Oh, it was such a wonderful dance, wasn't it, Georgie?
And I could dance with you until the cows come home. You lighted a feather.
George, wasn't it wonderful the way they played our song, Let Me Call You Sweetheart?
Yeah. Honey, let me call you sweetheart forever.
George, do you mean that?
I never meant nothing more in my life.
Oh, George.
And so they was married in Reverend Johnson's little chapel in Marietta. Well, a lot of moons has come and gone since then. And once again tonight, the Kingfish and Sapphire are coming home from a dance.
Of all the loads ever I dragged across a dance floor, you is the worst.
Oh, is that so? Well, it seems to me, I remember you used to say you could dance with me till the cows come home.
Yeah, the way you was clomping across that floor tonight, I thought they had, and I was dancing with one of them.
George Stevens, I've heard just about enough out of you. Don't you dare criticize me. Look at yourself.
And just what's wrong with me?
What kind of a husband has you been? You ain't got no romance. You is lazy, you is shiftless, you ain't got no ambition, and you ain't got the backbone of a jellyfish.
But now, honey...
And them is your good point.
I had to infer from your conversation that you were sorry that you married me.
Sorry? I regret the day I ever walked down the aisle with you.
You regret it. Every time I pass Reverend Johnson's new parish on 124th Street, I break out in goose pimples. How could that sweet old man do this to me?
Let me tell you something, George Stevens. If I had it all to do over again, I wouldn't marry you if you was the last man on the face of the earth.
Woman, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to make you eat them words. Yes, make you eat them words. I tell you, Andy, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to make that woman eat them words.
Yeah, you ought to teach that woman a lesson, all right.
Yeah, if that old gal wasn't married to me right now, she'd be down on her hands and knees begging me to marry her.
People ought to watch what they say, ought to be kind to one another.
Yeah.
The mail done come, Mr. Kingfish.
Thank you, Lightning.
Lovely day, ain't it, Mr. Brown?
Oh, shut your big mouth and mind your own business. Anything important?
Oh, just a letter here from Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, what they writing you about?
Well, there's a tax bill on some property that me and Sapphire own. They send us one every once in a while. I just throw them, Sandy, me and Sapphire was married in Marietta.
Kingfish, I can tell from that expression on your face that you done either thunk of something or got indigestion.
Andy, bring the typewriter in from the other office.
Kingfish, what are you up to?
Andy, you heard me talking about making Sapphire eat them words. Well, the mystery chef is about to prepare the meal. So therefore, it's our duty to inform you that owing to this unfortunate error, that in the eyes of the law, there's no legal marriage exists between George Stevens and Sapphire Smith. Yours very truly, Fred Thompson, Deputy County Clerk, Marietta, Georgia. There we is. Fred Thompson.
But, Kingfish, are you sure you're doing the right thing?
Why, certainly, son. They done this in a book once by Somerset Monaghan. Now all I gotta do is plant this someplace where it won't be too obvious.
George must have left the suit to be clean. Therefore, it is our duty to inform you that in the eyes of the law, no legal marriage exists between George Stevens and Sapphire Smith. Good heavens! Hello? Hello?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Stevens, but the Kingfish ain't here. No, I don't know exactly where he is.
When you see that woman, tell him to get home as fast as he can.
She sounded excited, Kingfish. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna duck her all day. I'm gonna make her suffer. Yeah, and I'm gonna play with that old gal like a cat with a mouse. Therefore, it is our duty to inform you, due to this unfortunate error, in the eyes of the law, no legal marriage exists between George Stevens and Sapphire Smith. Well, honey, by some strange coincidence, look like your wish done come true.
What you talking about, George?
Well, you know, the other night you said you wish you had never married me. Now, here's your chance to be free right now. We ain't married no more, so let's call it a day, Miss Smith.
Call it a day?
That's right.
What you talking about?
You go your way, and I'll go mine. Good luck to you and all that stuff. Be seeing you again sometime. It's been nice knowing you for 20 years.
You mean we ain't married no more? Good. And that's the way it's gonna stay.
Excuse me, honey, but did I understand you there? You mean you ain't gonna beg me to marry you again?
Exactly, George.
But, honey, we could go to Reverend Johnson's on 124th Street. Honey, you're making a big mistake. You're my wife. I your husband, George.
Pardon me, I didn't get the name.
Wait a minute, Sapphire. Don't be foolish. I your husband.
Husband? Why, I ain't had a husband in 20 years.
Oh, me. Look, Sapphire, we both is tired. Let's forget the whole thing till morning.
All right, George. I guess we do need some sleep.
Yeah, we sure do. Let's go to bed.
Here's your hat, and there's the door.
The door?
Yes, I is a respectable unmarried woman, and you is a very late visitor, so get out. Get out and stay out.
I tell you, boys, I gotta do something. This is a terrible situation. My wife done throwed me out the house.
Well, you never should have ripped that fool letter in the first place.
Listen, Kingfish. I don't think Sapphire is serious about not wanting to be married to you. Maybe she's just trying to get even or something. Why don't you call her up and explain the whole thing to her?
Yeah. I'll call the old gal up and give her a chance to apologize.
Yeah, give her a break.
Hello? Who is this?
Uh-oh. It's Sapphire's mama. I'd like to speak to Sapphire.
Miss Smith is not at home.
Hurry up, Sapphire. Coming, girl.
Kingfish, will you stand still a minute?
Oh, what's up, Kingfish? I got here as soon as I could.
I called you here, boys, because I done come to a decision. this thing about Sapphire has gone far enough. I'm going to do something drastic.
Well, what you gonna do, Kingfish?
I'm going to bring her to her senses. I is going to be seen in the company of another woman.
You got to do something drastic, that's all. Mama, I can't go on acting like I ain't married.
Now listen, Sapphire. We done checked, and we found out that this letter from George is a fake. Now we got to show him that two can play this game.
But, Mama...
No, daughter. We got to fix it so he come crawling back on his hands and knees and never pull a trick like this again.
Well, just how you going to do that, Mama? It ain't worked so far.
Daughter, I happen to have an ace up my sleeve. You is going to be seen in the company of another man.
Theodora Wilson, tall girl, has own car, light eater.
No, and that don't sound quite right. Ain't you got nothing better?
Well, let's see here. No, this gal's married. And this one left town. Here we is.
Here is the number, and there is the phone. All right, Mama. I tell you, Sapphire, it is the only way we can bring that weasel to his senses.
I is Mr. Stevens.
Oh, well, I'm all set. Is something wrong?
Oh, no. But the last time I was out with a girl to a suffragette picnic. And this is quite a switch from them mini blouses.
Where are we going?
Well, I'd like to go someplace we could be seen together so the gossip will get back to my wife. And I understand the silver slipper is the place.
How do you do? I'm Mr. Royal from the escort service. Is there something wrong?
Wrong? Oh, no. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
How do you do? How do you do? Mama, this is Mr. Royal. Mr. Royal, this is my mother.
My, I would have sworn you were sisters.
Well, run along, children, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Royal, I'd like to go somewhere where we could be seen together.
I understand, and I think I know just the place. The Silver Slipper Cafe.
Keep the change.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. George Stevens and friends.
This way, please.
Hot dog. The place is crowded. Somebody bound to see us.
Nice place, isn't it? It certainly is ridiculous, isn't it?
Ridiculous?
Yes. That old fool there with that young girl.
Isn't it ridiculous the extreme some women will go to get a man?
Huh?
That old lady sitting over there with that young man.
Disgusting.
Where?
The old fool in the rear booth.
That old lady in the second booth. That old fool is my husband.
Holy mackerel, that old lady, my wife. Sapphire! Sapphire! Sapphire!
Taxi, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Sapphire! Sapphire!
Don't you talk to me, you old wolf. Gallivanting around with that young hussy.
Now, what was you doing out with that young punk?
George Stevens, you can go out with a woman, I can go out with a man.
Now, wait a minute, honey.
George Stevens, I done put up with everything from you, but this is the end.
As far as I'm concerned, this is the end, too.
I never want to see you again as long as I live.
This is the end. I never want to see that woman again as long as I live.
Now, wait a minute here, Kingfish. Why don't you let me go to Sapphire and explain what you was doing with that woman in the nightclub?
Yeah, after all, you is innocent.
Certainly I is innocent. I is innocent, but she was out with that young fella. Is that innocent?
Well, maybe Sapphire is just a friendly type.
And listen, there must have been some reason Sapphire was out with that fella. Maybe he's a relative or something. Let me go up and have a talk with Sapphire and see if I can't straighten this mess out.
Nothing doing, Amos. If you go to that woman and speak to her, you is off of my list for life. It's all over. She's breaking up housekeeping, and she give me the 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to get my stuff out. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. Should have happened years ago.
And here's my wedding ring. I don't consider myself married to you no more.
Honey, you never had that off before. And anyway, I don't want it.
Take it or I'll throw it away. Now get a move on.
If it's for me, I don't want to talk to nobody.
How do you do, Sapphire?
Yes, what is it?
Why, Sapphire, I don't think you recognize me. I'm Reverend Johnson.
Oh, my goodness. Of course. Reverend Johnson, do come in. George, look who's here. It's Reverend Johnson.
Good afternoon, George.
Hello, Reverend Johnson. How is you, sir?
I'm terribly sorry I didn't recognize you, Reverend Johnson, and I should. After all, I should recognize the man who married us.
Well, I can't say that I blame you for not recognizing me, Sapphire. We haven't run into each other for quite a few Sundays now, have we?
Oh, well, you see, we've been away. We've been out of town. No, sir. I guess we haven't.
Well, it looks like you folks are doing a little house cleaning.
Oh, yes, we were. Weren't we, George?
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Johnson, won't you have a seat?
No, I was just in the neighborhood and thought I'd drop by for a few seconds. You know, it makes my heart feel good to see a man and his wife working together. Oftentimes in life, our duties keep us away from each other most of the day. But it's nice to find a husband and wife who still find time enough to help each other with the chores.
Can I get you a cup of tea or something, Reverend?
No, Sapphire. I just dropped in to say hello. And I'm glad to see you both together. Well, I guess I'll be going now.
Glad you dropped by, Reverend Johnson.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Reverend.
Seeing you standing there facing me now, side by side, brings back memories of years ago. Years ago when I officiated at your wedding. Why, Sapphire, where's your wedding ring?
My wedding ring? Well,
I got that right here. I'm going to have it cleaned, a little dusty after 20 years,
I remember your wedding ceremony especially because you two were so very happy. I don't think I ever saw the little chapel so beautifully decorated. Everything was so perfect. The flowers, the little choir. I can almost hear them now. Why, it seems like only yesterday when I said, we are gathered together to unite this man and woman in marriage, which is an institution ordained of nature, part of the very laws of our being, and instituted for the happiness and welfare of mankind.
Yes, sir. That's been many years ago.
Then I think I remember saying that marriage was not made for happiness alone, but for the discipline and development of character, for mutual understanding and unselfish devotion.
Sometimes we forget that, I guess.
It was a beautiful ceremony. I remember the expression on your face, George, when I said, do you take this woman, Sapphire, to be your lawful wedded wife, to honor her, comfort her, and keep her in sickness and in health, for better, for worse, from this day forth, as long as ye both shall live?
I do.
And you, Sapphire, do you take this man, George, to be your lawful wedded husband, to comfort him, honor him, and keep him in sickness and in health, for better, for worse, from this day forth, so long as ye both shall live?
I do.
Then, George, you said,
With this ring, I thee wed.
then I think we came to the most beautiful part of all. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state, in the name of our Father in heaven, I pronounce you husband and wife, whom love has joined together, let no man put asunder. Well, as I said, I have to be running along. I hope to see you both at church Sunday.
Yes, Reverend Johnson. We'll be there.
Yes, we'll be there together.
Oh, afternoon, Reverend Johnson.
Well, Amos, how are you? And how are Ruby and the children?
Oh, fine, just fine, thank you.
That's fine. By the way, I was in your neighborhood today. I dropped by to see Sapphire and George.
Oh, and how is he?
Oh, they're just fine. They seem quite happy, I'm sure.
Well, that's nice.
And Amos, I want to thank you for suggesting that I stop in on Sapphire and George. It was nice of you to let me know they'd be home at 3 o'clock.
Wonders of wonders has done happened. The Kingfish got himself a job. Yes, sir, in the past 3 days, he's been employed by one of our biggest realty companies, the firm of Reynolds and Reynolds. Well, it looks like the Kingfish done tied himself up with a live wire outfit.
Yes, I'll be out tomorrow morning.
Good morning, Miss Watkins.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds. Good morning, Mr. Reynolds.
Good morning, Miss Burke. Nice sale you made yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Miss Payne.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds.
Good morning, Tom. You've been doing some wonderful work for us.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds.
Good morning, Tom. Glad to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Yes, Miss Smith. I'll be glad to come over to take you right out. Yes, ma'am. We'll be there in the morning. Thank you.
Want to buy a house? Good afternoon, Mr. Reynolds.
Stevens, you've been with us 4 days and you've done nothing. Now I find you here like this. Stevens, you're finished. You're fired. Well, what are you waiting for?
For you to close the lid. I ain't finished my nap yet. Home.
Hello, George.
Honey, I got something to tell you.
Oh, George, I'm so happy about your new job. It makes me so proud of you. I fixed you a wonderful supper, all your favorites. Corn, roast beef, French fried potatoes.
I know, honey, but...
George, honey, you know, someday, if you keep up the good work, we might even have a little home of our own. A little place in the country with the garden, picket fence, flowers. Oh, George, I just know this new job of yours is going to be the turning point in our lives.
But you just got to give me my job back. I can't let my wife down.
I'm sorry, Stevens. There's just no place for a man like you in my organization.
But, Mr. Reynolds, I won't sleep no more. I'll work day and night if you give me just one more chance. Anything.
Stevens, I'm going to give you another chance. We've just taken on 4 houses up around Yonkers. Now, if you can sell one of these between now and, let's say, Saturday, we'll put you back on the payroll.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. Thank you.
Thompson will give you the details.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, what do you want?
Well, I'm back on the payroll, and Mr. Reynolds said for you to give me the dope on them 4 houses up near Yonkers.
There you are, brother. They're all yours.
They're a little on the old side, ain't they? What are they asking for them, 3,000 or 4,000?
500.
Only 500? How can they sell this for only 500?
Well, because nobody wants them. They've been condemned by the state to put through the new highway. They're going for 500, but whoever buys them's got to move them out of there.
They got to be moved. Well, who in the world is going to buy a house without any lot?
Stevens, there's 7 million people in Greater New York. I suggest you start with the A's.
Hello? Is this the residence of Mr. Aaron Abyssinian? Fine. Well, this is Mr. Stevens of the Reynolds Company. I got a nice house for you up near Yonkers. Yeah, 2 stories, 3 bedrooms. The lot. Well, I can explain that. See, there ain't no lot, but it would be easy for you to... But, Mr. Quigley... But, Mr. Ziegenspiel... Hi, Kingfish. Be with you in a second, Andy. On the phone here.
Yeah.
You see, I got Andy, did you ever consider the beauties of home ownership?
Home ownership? What would I want to own a home for? I was still an unmarried spinster.
Oh, Andy, I'm talking about a place in the country. Do you realize how unhealthy the city is for the human physiognomy?
Well, it can't be too unhealthy. Most of the people I've seen walking around is alive.
Oh, Andy, I'm talking about the air. With all the cars, you was breathing the carbon peroxide. Yeah, son, you was breathing what the cars has thrown away.
That's bad for you?
Oh, yeah, Andy. There's nothing like the country. With the honeysuckle twining and the magnolias knolling, oh, I tell you, it's a vegetable paradise. And you know, Andy, I don't think anyone has ever expressed it quite like that great Greek poet Omar Khayyam. When he said, give me a house by the side of the road, a jug of wine, a hank of hair, and thou.
Well, that's a mighty pretty thought, all right, but it don't make too much sense, do it?
Well, I admit it suffered a lot in the translation, but what Omar was driving at was you ought to buy yourself a house.
Yeah. You know, I didn't think I wanted a house when I come in here. The exhaust fumes and Mr. Kayak and the magnolias, it don't sound like too bad an idea.
Nothing like it, Andy. And I got just a place for you, Andy. And it's only $500.
Not a bad-looking house. $500. What's wrong with it?
You can see there ain't nothing wrong with it, Andy. You can see for yourself there.
Yeah, it looks all right. But a house is a lot of expense. Taking care of the grounds and everything.
I tell you, Andy, with this house, the ground is one thing you don't have to worry about. Andy, we go down to the real estate office now and sign the papers.
Well, Andy called me up the next morning and told me he'd bought a house. And I offered to drive him out in my cab.
Sure was nice of you to offer to drive me out to my new house in your cab, Amos.
Oh, don't mention it, Andy. I'm anxious to see your place myself. Sounds like a wonderful buy.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like they're running a highway down through here.
Yeah. Well, my house is around here somewhere. We'll leave the stuff here, Amos, and we'll walk up to my place.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of nice having a new highway right near you. Kind of early to be looking for stars, ain't it?
Oh, no, Andy. That's a surveyor. He laying out the highway. He's going straight through where he was looking up there.
Yeah, let me see here.
Oh, what's the matter, Andy?
I want to ask you some questions about that house down there.
Yeah?
Do this new highway you're building go to the right of it? Well, does it go to the left of it? Do the highway make a dead end just this side of the house? Just one more question. When must I move the house out of there?
By next Thursday.
All right. By any chance, do you think the kingfish done tricked me again? I regret it.
Great work. I didn't believe you could do it. Thank you, Miss Watkins. And let me tell you, Stevens, I'm a man of my word. You go back on payroll as of today.
Thank you.
It was a great piece of sales work, Stevens. Selling a house without a lot. I trust the buyer is happy.
Oh, happy as a lark.
I tell you, Stevens. Excuse me. Yes, Miss Watkins?
There's a Mr. Brown out here to see Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Brown for you, Stevens.
Mr. Reynolds, I show that you was familiar with that old expression, discretion is the better part of valor. Well, if you'll pardon me, I'll discreet myself down that fire escape. Yeah, Calhoun, I fear for myself. Ordinarily, Andy's a slap-happy flounder. But when he gets mad, he's like a tiger shark with a harpoon in his liver. Calhoun, what is I gonna do?
Kingfish, you have got to get yourself a bodyguard.
A bodyguard? Oh, you mean someone to protect me from Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's a great idea. But, Calhoun, does you know any bodyguarding?
I've happy to say that among my acquaintances, there's one Slugger Judson, one of the greatest heavyweights that ever kissed the canvas.
Fine, Calhoun. I go over to the lodge hall now, and you have him meet me there. Oh, boy, that bodyguard is a great idea. Now, Slugger, is you sure you got this straight? Because the details is very important.
You sure I got it? What do you think I am, stupid?
I better run over this with you again. Now, I'm going to send for this here Andy Brown, and I'm going to have him meet me here. And I want you to get in the closet there, and if he starts something, and I can't handle him, then I'll give the signal, and you come busting out the closet and take the boy apart.
Yeah. But what is the signal?
Oh, let me see. Let's see.
I got it. How about that Indian name that the paratroopers use? Geronimo.
Yeah, the Indian name, Geronimo. Now, when I Geronimo, you come out slugging.
Yeah.
Out here. Now, I go down in the basement and tell Lightning to go across the street to the pool hall and tip Andy off that I's here. And that way, he'll be off his guard, and he won't know what he's walking into.
Yeah. This whole thing's gonna look like a pleasant afternoon. Hey, you mind if I use your phone? I gotta call my manager.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'll be right back.
Nine.
Hello?
Oh, Joe. This is Slugger.
Well, where have you been? I've been looking all over for you. Get down here right away.
Oh, I can't come down now, Joe. I got a little job, but...
Listen, you lug. I knocked my brains out to get this fight. Get down here, or the deal's off.
Okay.
That's right, Lightning. You pop across the street to the pool hall and give Andy Brown a hint that I is here.
Yes, I'll whiz right on over there.
Now, Slugger, That's it, Slugger. Stay in the closet. That's you in your head, Slugger. Now all I gotta do is sit here and wait for the slaughter. Here you come now, Slugger.
Kingfish, give me my money back or put up your dukes before I start closing your face in from 5 directions.
Now, wait a minute, fat boy.
That boy.
You heard me. Don't come busting in here like this. I'm liable to lose my temper.
You liable to lose your temper. You talking awful big, Kingfish.
So what? What are you going to do about it, stupid?
I'm going to find out if your fist is tough as your mouth. That's what I'm going to do.
You asked first. Geronimo. Just step back here and wait for the massacre.
Punch you right in the nose.
Geronimo.
Kingfish, what's going on here? Stop.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. Andy, wait a minute. Geronimo. Hiawatha. Rain in the face. Jim Thorpe.
Kingfish, stop defending yourself.
Time out, Andy.
Time out?
Yeah, I got to step in the closet here and investigate the Indian situation. Be with you in a minute, Andy. Slugger, where's you? Slugger! Slugger! This ain't no time to be playing foot in the corner.
Kingfish, come out of that closet before I come in there and tear you apart.
Be right with you, Andy. Slugger! Slugger!
Yeah. Kingfish, come out of there.
Did you want to see me about something, Andy, old pal?
I sure did.
Andy, I bet for a minute you thought I was serious about beating you up. Didn't you, good friend, street boy, lifelong pal?
Oh, don't give me that stuff.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. The whole thing was a joke.
Kingfish, this is the dirtiest trick you done ever pulled on me. Sticking me with a house that ain't got no lot.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. I'm going to make good. I'm going to make good.
You is?
Why, certainly, Andy. You don't think for a minute that I'd stick you for a house without sticking you for a lot, too.
Sounds more like it.
Now, Andy, I'm going to supply the lot, and you can move the house right on it. Meet me here at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I'll have everything worked out for you.
You ain't up to no tricks, is you?
My word of honor, Andy. I'm going out now and get you one of the finest lots in the whole city of New York.
Well, you better, Kingfish. That's all I got to say.
That's right, Mr. Reynolds. You being a big real estate man, I thought I'd come to you. I want to buy a lot, one I can move a house on.
Well, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm sure we can help you. Just what did you have in mind?
Well, a large residential lot, nice neighborhood, view, shade trees.
Fine. Just, how high did you intend to go?
Well, if things is right, I am prepared to go as high as $82.
Well, Kingfish, it's 3 o'clock.
Well, I just going over your lot here, Andy. A beautiful spot.
Is the lot in a nice neighborhood?
Oh, sure, Andy. And it's centrally located, too. It's right in the middle between 2 other lots.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better location than that.
Yeah, it only cost you a couple of $100 to have the house moved onto the lot.
Yeah, I might live in the house while they're moving it.
That's right. The trip might do you good. There's no thrill like whizzing through the city in your own home.
Yeah, well, let's figure where to put the house on the lot. I want a nice backyard, you know.
Well, here's the house plan.
Okay.
Now, I'll take the dimensions of the lot and see how much room we got.
Yeah.
Width of the lot, 35 feet.
Width of house, 42 feet.
Andy, I think we better go over these figures again. They ain't jiving like they oughta. Width of lot, 35 feet.
Width of house, still 42 feet.
Andy, I think I hit upon what the trouble is. your house is a wee bit bigger than your lot.
A wee bit? Kingfish, this house is 7 feet too big for this lot. What in the world is we going to do?
Well, Andy, nothing to get excited over. In the real estate circles, that's what's known as overlapping. I think the smartest thing to do is make a few altercations.
Altercation?
Yeah, now you could cut 7 foot off of the house and bring the outside wall in, and there you is.
Yeah, but what do that do to the inside of the house?
Well, now taking 7 foot off of the dining room won't hurt it a bit. You still got a nice-sized dining room, 12 by 3.
12 by 3? I'm going to need a long, thin table in there.
And Andy, taking 7 feet off of the kitchen won't hurt that either. All you lose there is the sink, refrigerator, and stove.
Yeah, sounds like I won't need the table in the dining room after all.
Yeah, come on nice upstairs here, too. All you got to do is cut off...
What's the matter?
Well, Andy, I think if you cut off 7 foot off of the bathroom, it's going to make it just a little bit inconvenient for you. So half of the tub inside the house and the other half out.
Half the bathtub outside? Well, that ain't going to look too neat, is it?
Well, you can spread a little ivy over there and make it look like a window box.
Yeah, but when I take a bath, how is it going to look to people passing by? Me sitting up there taking a bath in the window box.
Andy, you just got to wear your bathrobe when you take a bath.
Oh, yeah. I'll wear my print one, and they'll think I was a geranium.
Andy, putting a 42-foot house on a 35-foot lot is just a minor problem.
Now, wait a minute, Kingfish. I've been thinking this whole mess over. Now, I ain't never been a fussy guy, but I ain't gonna stand for jamming that big house on that little lot. You gotta do something.
Now, wait a minute, Andy. A bargain is a bargain. You bought the house, and that's that. And if you don't want the lot, that's your business.
Now, wait a minute, King.
Don't you dare lay a hand on me, Andy Brown. I happen to be a real estate broker, licensed by the sovereign state of New York.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
And who is the sovereign state of New York? The people.
Well...
And who do the people elect as head of the sovereign state of New York?
The governor.
That's right. And have you got the nerve to stand there and punch Tom Dewey in the nose?
No, I don't want no trouble with the governor. I ain't got nothing against him.
And on top of that, I can't give you your money back. It'd be a violation of the building code.
Well, how would it do that?
I sold you a stucco house, and under the law, you is a stuckee. Get out of here before I think of some other law you done broke.
Oh, me. Well, fellas ain't done nothing. I sure got myself in a mess of trouble.
Andy, you mean to say you gonna let the Kingfish get away with this?
Well, there ain't much I can do, Amos. According to the Kingfish, all I could do is get in a fight with Governor Dewey. And you got to have a license from the state of New York to do that.
Yeah, well, we could go to court, Andy. But I don't think no judge would think anybody could be as gullible as you is.
Yeah, I sure is gully, ain't I?
But, Andy, have you tried to sell the house?
Yeah, I tried, but no one wants the thing. The house one place, and the lot another place, and the lot too small. And the highway people say if I don't get the house out of there by tomorrow, they're going to slap a fine on me.
Yeah, the way the Kingfish has been pushing you around, you certainly is entitled to a break someplace. And, Andy, maybe something will turn up by tomorrow.
Sapphire, I home.
George, I was waiting for you. We going out?
Out to dinner?
No, George, I have a surprise for you. Now that you have a steady income coming in, I decided to do something about this apartment of ours. I tried to get you all afternoon, George, but it was such a wonderful opportunity, I couldn't pass it up.
Opportunity?
Yes. I run into Andy Brown, and he sold me the most wonderful house and lot for $750.
What? The dirty crook. I call my lawyer. I call my doctor. I call everybody.